Welcome to the review that dripped blood. I'm your host, Jeffrey Woods. In this episode, we'll be taking a closer look at one of my favorite holiday films, the 1980 slasher Christmas Evil, which was originally known as You Better Watch Out and also known as Terror in Toyland. Christmas Evil was written and directed by Lewis Jackson and stars Brandon Maggart, Jeffrey DeMunn, Dianne Hill, Scott McKay, Peter Friedman, Ray Berry, Robert Lesser, and Patricia Richardson in her first role. The film follows Harry Stadling, a middle-aged man with a peculiar obsession with Christmas, which started during his childhood after learning the truth about Santa Claus in a most traumatic way. As a result, Harry would go on to physically embody the spirit of old Saint Nick, becoming a toy maker and having an unhealthy preoccupation with the behavior of the children in his neighborhood. Everything changes, however, when Harry snaps as a result of the hypocrisy and cynicism from those around him, sending him on a Yuletide killing spree. So, what do I like about this movie? First and foremost, I'm impressed with how the B-rated horror flick handled the subject of mental illness. Harry Stadling is a well-written, multi-dimensional anti-hero that the audience can actually sympathize with. The casting is phenomenal. Brandon Maggart does a brilliant job depicting the protagonist, Harry, a man who's been struggling to keep his fragile mental state intact for a long time, and eventually snaps, losing himself in his Santa Claus persona. Jeffrey DeMunn does a great job in the role of Phil Stadling, Harry's younger brother, who, after over 3 decades, has had it with his brother's odd behavior. He has no sympathy towards Harry, and not only considers him an embarrassment, but an unwanted nuisance. Phil depicts everything wrong with our society when it comes to ignorance and stigma towards mental health and basic empathy. Scott McKay and Peter Friedman play 2 sleazy executives at the Jolly Dreams toy factory where Harry works. The pair highlight everything wrong in corporate America. To say the least, McKay and Friedman knock their roles out of the park. And I would be remiss not to mention Patricia Richardson in her first on-screen role as Mrs. Garcia, mother to Moss Garcia, a child who will likely forever be on Harry's naughty list. Many of you will recognize Patricia as Jill Taylor, Tim Allen's TV wife on the 90s sitcom Home Improvement. They did a really good job with the cinematography in this film. It's a great snapshot of the time, and I love all of the locations used, from Harry's apartment to the toy factory, and of course, Phil's suburban neighborhood. And lastly, I must commend the crew on the costume design, especially in regards to Harry's Santa outfit, and while there aren't many deaths in the film, the practical special effects are fantastic. Before we conclude, I'd like to take a moment to shamelessly promote my first children's horror fiction novel, Erie, Ohio, Here Comes the Boogeyman, a fun, spooky read the whole family can enjoy. You can find Erie, Ohio, Here Comes the Boogeyman almost everywhere ebooks are sold, and if you want a physical copy, head on over to Amazon.com. Now, back to the review. Overall, Christmas Evil is a fun film, and watching it has become a holiday tradition in my household, which is why I'm giving it 8.5 creepy Christmas decorations out of 10. If you enjoy this review and haven't done so already, please smash the like button and subscribe to the review that dripped blood.